Sorry, I'm just making a little video about Morza Packaging Solutions.
Who for?
Just for me.
What's it regarding?
It's nothing serious. I'm not a business or anything. It's just a personal thing, just a personal kind of project.
Did you work at Mauser?
Say again, sorry.
Did you used to work at Mauser?
No, I've never worked at Mauser. No.
Right, okay. So what's the connection that you need to do a video of it?
No, I don't need to really. I'm just having a little look around the business park, and Morza sounded really interesting. Packaging solutions. It was saying that you're kind of reinventing packaging solutions. So I'm just wondering kind of what that means. What does that mean?
Right, but I mean, what you actually videoing, you can't really see anything of the business, can you? And you
Yeah.
you can't actually come on site because you haven't got safety wear on.
Yeah, that's right. I don't got safety wear on. I'm not going to go on to where the trucks are. That's probably why I'm not going to go on actually, because I don't want to get run over or out like that.
You're not allowed to. You're not allowed to be on site.
Not allowed to be on site. Okay, well I won't go on your site. No problem.
You're not videoing now, are you?
I'm literally just doing a video of the kind of forklifts and stuff. It's just gonna, just having a little look at the industry.
The only way I'd be able to allow you to do that is to speak with the MD. I
The
can't
MD?
really allow you on site to start videoing.
Yeah. No, I'm not going to come on. I'm just going to do it from kind of here, if you feel like. Just kind of, just have a little bit of a nosy. Watch the forklift trucks coming up and down and stuff. Just watch the industry.
What are you going to do with this footage?
I'd rather not say. Just I'm
No,
literally.
well, I'd rather you would say. Otherwise, I'm going to have to ask you to leave, or I'll have to get involved the police.
The police. Well, I'm not on your land here, am I? I'm not on your land. I'm on the business park's land, but not your land, am I?
Yeah.
Permission from the business park?
It doesn't matter about business permission from the business park. They'd have to get a representative to come down and see me. But all I'm saying is,
you're being very, very vague with why you're videoing.
Yeah.
In this day and age, you could be doing some kind of surveillance, and then you're going to come back, and it's like we could have a robbery, or instead if we ring them and tell them.
well, if you ring police, you might get me into trouble. Don't do that, because it's just I'm literally just doing a bit
Well,
of a.
why don't you just leave then? Because I have the options. You either leave now, or we phone the police.
Can I just tell you one more thing then? I've got a drone with me today. I'm going to fly over the yard.
You can't.
And
You can't do that either.
I can do. I'm allowed to do that. Don't worry about.
Right. Well, do you want to just hang on here?
Well, can you just say why? Who are you? Just first of all, just so that.
I'm the managing director's personal assistant.
Ah, you're the managing director's PA. Is the managing director on site?
He is, yeah, but he's in a meeting.
Oh, right. Okay, well, I don't want to interrupt him from a meeting. I don't want to interrupt anybody's business day. But I am going to fly.
I wouldn't actually see you. You can't fly your drone.
I am. Why would you say that? What
you
makes?
can't fly your drone over the site. It's a risk.
I can do because.
It's a security risk.
Well, it might be from your point of view, but the thing with it, there's no restrictions over the airspace in this, and it's the Civil Aviation Authority that control the airspace, not the business.
I just want to know why you need this footage. You're not being clear on why
Yeah,
you need it.
I didn't come
You
to
were
answer
saying
any
you don't
questions.
need to tell
Yeah.
me, but you do. That's like coming in onto my property and saying, I'm just going to send a drone over and video you while you're out. You're not getting it.
Yeah, I'm not going to come onto your property, onto your business property.
But you are if your drone comes over.
No, I'll be in the airspace. That's not controlled by Morza. That's not controlled
No, I need to. I'm going to.
What starts as a simple filming session at an industrial park turns into a full-blown confrontation involving threats, legal confusion, and a line that almost gets crossed physically. You've got an auditor standing his ground, a business manager convinced a crime is about to happen, and a situation where both sides believe they're 100% right. But here's the twist: this isn't just about filming anymore. The moment a drone gets mentioned, everything changes. Suddenly, it's not curiosity, it's security risk. Not a camera, but surveillance. And that shift. That's where tensions explode. What you're about to see includes threats to call police, claims about laws that may or may not exist, and even a shocking statement about shooting a drone out of the sky. Yeah, you heard that right. So ask yourself, where does authority end, and where do personal rights begin? Because in this situation, that line gets pushed to its absolute.
What law is she going to say that I've
You
broken?
can't be filming on the business park without. First of all, you need permission from Beaver to be doing it. And secondly, you can't be flying a drone over here, because if anything's faulty with your drone, it comes down, it's forklift truck crashes or kills somebody, that's on you.
Yeah. Who's Beaver? Do they own the business
They
park?
own the business park.
Ah, right. Well, what we're going to say is, the drone kind of stuff, like I was saying to that lady,
You can't fly a drone over here.
I am definitely going to be flying a drone over.
Well, as I say, you've left no choice but to ring the police.
But the thing is, if you ring the police, what crime are you gonna report? 'Cause it's not a crime to fly a drone over, is it?
You're putting people at risk.
I'm not. I'm pretty professional with it. I've never crashed it ever.
It doesn't make any difference. You can't fly it over here without express permission from Beaver Construction, first of all, who owns site. And we wouldn't allow it over our site here because it's a risk.
Yeah. Well, tell you what, right, I'm not gonna take off from Beaver's land. I'm not gonna take off from your land. I am gonna go back to the main road and just kind of fly over from there. So I will be flying over from public, but I'll be able to, you know what I mean. It won't be on your land, if you know what I mean. I'll just be in the air.
You can't fly it over it.
I'm definitely going to do it.
Well, she's calling the police now anyway, so they'll decide whether or not you can do it.
Yeah, honestly, the police won't. I would say the police probably won't even come. And even if the police did come, I don't think they could do anything because it's not illegal, is it? The police only have power over you.
I'm telling you, as the manager for the logistics team here, you're putting people at risk flying a drone over where this stacker's working.
Yeah, but that's your own personal opinion, isn't it? I don't think I'm putting people at risk. You're saying
we have to put in health and safety measures for anything that's happening on site. That's not happening over this site. As I said, she's contacting the police now.
This is where the misunderstanding really starts to take shape. From the staff member's perspective, someone filming near a business, without a clear explanation, feels suspicious. And to be fair, in today's climate, people are more alert than ever to anything that looks like surveillance. But here's the key issue: suspicion alone isn't a crime. The auditor is standing in a publicly accessible area, not trespassing, not interfering, just filming. And legally, that's a huge distinction. The problem is, the staff member isn't thinking in legal terms, she's thinking in risk and responsibility, and that's where these encounters often break down. One side is focused on rights, the other on perceived threats. So let me ask you, if you saw someone filming your workplace,
you're going to shoot my drone down?
I've got a press control guy. I'll get him to do it.
Honestly, can I just say, if you shot a drone down, you'd be in a lot of trouble because
you're putting a health and safety risk. He's going to contact the police, obviously. I'm just saying, in my personal opinion, I'd clear the yard and shoot it down because it's a risk to the people in my yard.
Oh my God. Well, what would you shoot it down with?
Sorry?
What would you shoot it down with?
The same thing that they use for pigeons and rats in it.
What, is it like a shotgun or something?
No. As I say, it's a press control guy, but obviously I would consider it an hazard. So.
Well, I think I'm not sure of the penalties of shooting a drone down, but I think it's a really serious offence interfering with an aircraft.
Well, I'm not sure either. That's why she's ringing the police so we can get some clearance on it, because I'm not permitting you to fly a drone over here.
You don't need to permit me. I'm going to do it anyway. There's nothing you can do to stop me.
Well, as I say, we'll find out shortly.
Yeah. Okay then. So while we stood here and we're waiting on the answer, do you want to just give me a quick little whistle-stop tour about what products it is that Mauser Packaging?
Not at the moment, no.
No. You'd have to provide anything secret. It could just be like.
No, there's nothing secret. Everything's in there.
Just like that, the situation escalates. The mention of calling the police changes the entire energy of the encounter. What was a tense conversation is now turning into a potential legal dispute, but notice something important: when pressed about what crime has actually been committed, there isn't a clear answer. And that's critical. Because calling the police isn't about whether you feel uncomfortable, it's about whether a law has been broken. Now at the same time, the auditor introduces the drone into the equation, and that's like pouring fuel on a fire. Drones trigger a completely different level of concern, especially around businesses. So now both sides are digging in, the staff feel justified in escalating, and the auditor feels confident in his rights. And that's exactly how situations like
that's never happened, though.
It's the fact that it's never happened don't put my concerns to bed, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's not like, yeah, I know. But it's one of those things, isn't it? If you've got those kind of concerns, then what you'd probably need to do is kind of close the airspace off or something.
As I said, we've also been told to report anything suspicious on site. We've had a number of robberies and things like that happen on the site with cars and everything else. You're here filming stuff, and with no real excuse for why you're doing it other than for your own benefit.
Yeah. Do you
Which
think
does concern me, and then you're telling me you're going to fly a drone over my yard here, which is going to put my staff at risk.
also you think it's not going to put your staff at risk though? Don't worry, it'll be fine.
There's a risk involved in flying a drone over that yard.
There is. I agree with you. There is a risk. There is a risk involved flying a drone over the yard. Yeah. You've got no choice though. Like I say, you've literally got no choice.
I haven't got a choice, but that's she's calling the police now.
I know. Well,
Yeah.
don't know what they're going to tell her. So you're just kind of waiting here then until she gets back?
Yeah. Can you not do that, please?
Sorry, what are you saying?
I said, can you not do that, please?
Can you move back from me?
No, can you not do that? I'll stand over it and you'll have to take it off into me.
You want to stand over my drone?
Well, when you put it down, I'll stand.
You need to back away from me. You've just walked right into my personal space.
I'm not in your personal space.
I'm going to take one step back. If you step into my personal space, I'll push you away.
I'm telling you not to fly that drone over this yard.
Where things take a sharp turn, from disagreement to outright hostility. Up until now, you could argue this was just a misunderstanding. But the moment threats start entering the conversation, everything changes. He manager is clearly frustrated, and from his perspective, he's trying to protect his staff. That part is understandable. But here's the problem: authority doesn't extend into threats of property damage or force. And suggesting that a drone could be shot down. That's not just dramatic, that's potentially serious. At this point, the situation isn't about filming anymore, it's about control. And when emotions take over, logic tends to go out the window. So now the question becomes, who's going to step back first? Or is this a...
Well, you know,
I'm not threatening you. What I'm saying is you can't fly that drone over this yard.
You've just walked into my personal space.
I've just looked into it. I've just looked at it as well, and you can't actually fly it over here.
I can. What have you looked into? What does it say? What you've looked into?
You can't fly it over private property without permission. If it's got a camera attached or anything like that, or any listening device attached, you're not allowed to do it.
I think you've just had a quick Google of the law there and got it completely wrong. You haven't even checked whether or not this is what weight drone.
I know nothing about this drone other than it's got a camera on, and you can't fly it over private property without permission.
You're wrong there. You are wrong. Do you want me to educate you and give you an update on the law?
I'm not interested in being educated. I'm asking you not to do it.
All right, well,
you're putting lads in this yard at risk by doing it. So I'm asking you not to do it.
I'll ask you to keep away, right? I'm going to take another step back because you keep walking towards me. If you keep stepping into my personal space, I'm going to take that as a threat.
Well, I'm not threatening you, as I said. All I'm going to try and do is prevent you from taking that drone off.
I'm not.
You are then putting my lads at risk.
I'm not going to take it off from here. I'm going to take it off from public because this is Beaver's land by the sounds of it.
Yeah, get Beaver's permission to
take off. I do, yeah, but to take off from public and fly over, that's fine.
You know, to fly over recording, you need permission.
You don't. You know. Come on. You've just said you don't educate, and now you're talking. Now you're saying.
Well, from what I've just read, that's exactly what it tells you from the.
The breaking point. Once threats like this are made, even if they're said out of frustration, the entire tone of the interaction shifts. What was a disagreement about rules has now crossed into something that could have legal consequences, and here's what makes it more intense: the auditor stays relatively calm. He doesn't escalate, doesn't respond aggressively, he challenges the logic instead. That contrast is important, because it keeps the situation from boiling over completely, but let's be real, at this stage, both sides are locked in. The manager believes he's protecting his workplace. The auditor believes he's within his rights. And neither one is backing down. So what happens when neither...
Whoever it is, if you are recording anything, flying a drone over, so you can't do it.
That's rubbish. I know the drone law, and I can tell you that if you like. The drone law is if you can fly a less than 250 gram drone over any building anywhere, as long as there's not a flight restriction in place, and the flight restrictions in place, things like airports, prisons, you're not allowed to do that. This yard, I'm perfectly okay to fly over and just get some aerial shots.
Why do you want to stay at private property then?
Because today I've chosen to do a little video about Morza Packaging Solutions, and That's it really.
Yeah, I'm just waiting. Linda's just run place, so I'm just hanging on.
You're not allowed on site, pal.
I'm not on the site, I'm not on the site, yeah. Just keep back and stuff. Remember,
he's under the impression I'm going to let him fly a drone over at yard, putting people at risk if anything goes wrong with drone that comes down on a forklift driver or anything else.
just remember, you are representing Moser now, so don't do anything silly or say
I'm not
anything
doing
silly.
anything silly.
You know
All
what I
I'm
mean?
saying is I'm trying to prevent you
Well,
doing
if you go
that.
down to the roadside, pal, it's private land.
Yeah.
You go outside down there, you might be able to do it, but what he's saying is...
No, I am going to retreat.
Aviation Authority's website says you can't fly a drone over private land without permission.
I am going to retreat back to public land to fly the drone, but I'm just waiting here
Want you
because
flying that drone over this yard.
it will be flying over the yard.
The police have been called, and I'll make sure I'll keep you in my sight so I can point out where you are.
Yeah, okay, it will come over, definitely. Like, you can't stop it.
Now things are getting dangerously close to crossing a physical line. Personal space is one of those invisible boundaries that, once breached, can instantly escalate a situation. And you can hear it in the auditor's voice. He's setting a clear boundary. This is actually a key de-escalation tactic. Verbal warnings, creating distance, and making it clear that physical contact won't be tolerated. But at the same time, the manager's persistence keeps the tension high.
I've told you what'll happen if it flies over there. That's the only thing I can do. If you're refusing not to do it, I'm not going to let it happen while the lads are in there putting them at risk. That's my health and safety assessment. It's not safe doing it over there. I don't know what that drone is, whether it can pronk out or what, come down on somebody in the yard, cause an accident. It's not happening.
It's quite threatening though when you're saying you're going to shoot my drone down, and you've told him, and he's gone off now to go see pest control to shoot my drone down. That's really threatening, that, you know what I mean? You shouldn't be...
I'm trying to prevent you putting people at risk, that's all I'm saying. And as I said, you were quoting Civil Aviation Authority. I've just looked on the website, so you can't do it without permission. You've not got Beaver's permission, you've not got our permission, so you shouldn't be doing it over this yard.
It's 100% going to happen. Please don't shoot it down because you'll get yourself in even more trouble. Don't you think it'd be even more dangerous to shoot a drone out of the sky while
We'll
there's...
clear the yard. I'll tell you, as I said, we'll have to clear the yard first because you're putting people at risk. You're then stopping the loading operation.
Don't stop for me, it'll be fine, honestly.
No, it's not fine. Whilst you're doing that, I can't have people out there loading. So you are then stopping our business.
Don't stop your business. I'm not stopping your business. You'd be making that choice yourself.
You are stopping the business. So I'm telling you, what you're doing is a health and safety risk. I can't allow people to carry on working with an health and safety risk.
Well, that'd be your choice, wouldn't it? I wouldn't be stopping you.
It's your choice. I'm telling you not to do it, and you're insisting on doing it. So then I have to act in a managerial capacity here to stop it happening. So if you do that, I've told you what my choice will be.
Yeah.
I'll consider that you're putting people at risk, and I'll ask pest control to get rid of it.
He's not backing off, he's trying to assert control physically by proximity, and this is the moment where things can go very wrong. Because once it becomes physical, even slightly, the entire situation changes legally and emotionally. So ask yourself, should the manager have stepped back here?